In 1959, at Street's Grocery in Whitefish, Montana's special spice was born. Alpine Touch. It's the taste you grew up with, well seasoned through the test of time. As the tradition carries from one Montana generation to the next. From its humble beginnings to a trusted brand, here's to the next 60 years. Alpine Touch. Montana's special spice since 1959.
The non-conference schedule now, ready for conference. Rate your non-conference performance up to this point to prepare for Big Sky Conference play.
Well, I look at the three games as a whole, and the first thing we want to ask our guys to do is play really hard, and we did that all three games. And I think learning to play team offense, team defense, and count on each other, trust each other, do your job has been our mindset, and feel really good about where we're at. 3 games in, far from perfect, but that's why you go out there and practice and play the games. But really pleased with our effort. We're playing really hard right now, and that's the number one thing we got to do.
Coach, when you get a pair of defensive touchdowns in the first half, how much of a momentum swing is that?
Yeah, huge, and Ty's obviously that was a heck of a run that he had. Great call to put him in that position on a third down, I believe. And we'd done pretty well up to that point offensively. They'd flipped the field a little bit, and then to completely kind of squash that and then turn that around into a touchdown was huge. And then Troy's a little shorter field, but he certainly showed that he's pretty good with the ball in his hands.
Speaking of playing for each other, when Okada got the pick, Jeffrey Manning sprinted all the way out in front of him, and that's probably what sprung the touchdown. So is that a good example?
Yeah, no question. We got to be about team, and no one cares who gets the credit. That type of mindset, and I think we got a group of guys that understand that and are willing to do whatever on any given play. We need everybody to do what's called upon them on a particular play, and then some. And that would be a good example of Jeffrey doing a little bit more.
And a lot of people wondered if they'd see Troy Anderson score a touchdown in the stadium again, but he gets one defensively. Yeah. So just talk about that play, but also how would you evaluate his non-conference 3 games into playing inside linebacker?
Yeah, I feel really good about Troy's play. It's a new space for him to play in. Felt like, obviously the first 2 games are what I have in my memory bank a little bit more than today as far as the ins and outs, but he's playing between the tackles well, but then you also see his ability to cover ground on the perimeter, and that was the idea of putting him in that position where it would be a little bit of both, and really pleased, and I think his comfort level is getting better each week.
How did you feel about the offensive line performance today?
Well, we scored on some big plays early, and there's certainly a part of that. And I think San Diego, probably much like Drake, they had a lot of guys down in there. Second quarter, ideally we don't have to punt, but they made some plays, and then I think we responded obviously the big run at the beginning of the third quarter, and then we pulled some of those guys. So we'll have to look at it, but I think we got the makings of what we want. Getting a couple guys on the field, getting some more reps, in particular in the fourth quarter, I think will be big as we move through the season. So it's I feel good about their progress for sure, and we're going to have to continue to improve as we go through the season.
And they were in there for longer than most of the starters too. Was that just kind of how it was going to go no matter what, or was that a little bit to get them more reps?
Well, I think what you want is we put Casey in, and then Tucker. You want those quarterbacks because you don't know when their time is going to be called to be able to operate behind that first group for the most part. I think we made some substitutions maybe when Tucker went in, but I think the mark of a good team is its depth, and part of that is that at quarterback and giving those guys, Casey didn't get that opportunity last week. He got that opportunity this week, so that was a big part of probably their extended play.
Was there anything in particular on offense that you were hoping to exploit coming into this game? Was there anything that you had to be mindful of?
Well, I think some of our big plays were a product of how they packed it in. So we were able to get Derek Snell on the edge a few times, Elijah down the pipe. Essentially, those are run-based plays that turn into passes because of how they're overplaying things. And I thought quarterback run game. I thought Matt, had some real good runs. Casey had some, and then you saw Tommy at the end. So, I think generally the game, played out how we planned. I think the wind certainly played a factor in the passing game. We weren't maybe as sharp there as we've been, but it was a pretty windy day, and I thought we did okay with with the conditions the way they were.
After such a quick start, was there anything that you could point to in the second quarter as to maybe why the offense stalled a bit?
Well, hard to say. They're trying out. San Diego's out there trying to make plays too. I think that was part of it. We got behind the chains a couple times. Weren't real good on first down. I know we missed a field goal in there after we hit a long pass to Lance and just missed the next play. And I know that was that series, and we might have been 3 and out. But I think it's going to happen. I think to expect that 21 point a quarter pace to keep up, that's just not the way it works. And I think we got to run a lot of offense in. I think we got everybody in the game today. And so there's a lot of positives to be taken from it.
How would you describe the touchdown that Elijah had? I mean, how would you describe that play? It was almost like a fake quarterback run into a pass, kind of.
Yeah. You're bluffing the quarterback run. Elijah's leaking out and leading down the middle, so you're trying to suck up the defense, whether that's linebacker or safety level. Got that done, and Matt put a good pass, and Elijah did the rest.
More action for Matt McKay on the ground today. So, two-part question. What was that a product of, and how would you evaluate him 3 games into his?
Yeah, I think the ball ending up in the quarterback's hands, we're a read-based offense on a lot of our plays where it's going to go quarterback or running back. And I think teams are going to make that choice game plan-wise, how they want that to look. That was big for Matt to make some steps, I think, in the run game today. And I think he's been effective on the ground, but today would have been his best day. And I think 3 games in, certainly room for improvement, but pleased with the fact that he's protected the football 3 games in, and he's completing the ball at a high rate. I think his decision making's gotten better and better each week. We need him to play well for us to do the things we want, and I think it's certainly a good start for him.
Do you feel like you did more shotgun single back sets this game compared to other games, or was it pretty even?
Boy, that's a good question. I couldn't. Maybe we ran our offense today. I think some of it's situational. We probably weren't in short yardage as much to be under center. We maybe a little bit more 3 wides today. I think just generally speaking at a glance, just the way it played out. So, I think we ran our offense today, and there were certainly some wrinkles that Coach House, right now, offensive staff, got in there that were different, than we ran in the first couple of games. I thought we had a really good plan, and really pleased more so with how the guys executed out the gate. To jump on them like we did. I really didn't have maybe that expectation, but we suffocated them on defense, and we took advantage on offense. And that first quarter is about as well as it could have gone.
Did RJ's absence of that affect at all kind of that game plan?
Well, I think that's a fair assessment. We got Jahari, really running at fullback now. It shifts us a little bit. RJ's is a really good football player and brings a lot to the table. So you adjust your personnel. I think we have Pickering, Davis, Snell running at tight end. Combined with Jahari, I think we can do the things we need to do in RJ's absence, and we certainly want to get him back out on the field at some point.
Jahari had a block to spring Matt McKay for a first down, and they had the block to seal that drive with a touchdown too. So he's a guy that's been looking for a role. I mean, what did you think of him in that role today? Yeah,
he did a lot of things. He scored a touchdown. He sprang some touchdowns. I know he was at tailback running the ball, kind of that third group of guys. And he's been stalwart on special teams at this point, so really appreciate his attitude of, hey, what do I need to do this week? And he wants to be on the field. He's a football player. And I think, we've continued to grow his role, and I know we're going to continue to see him on the field quite a bit.
Speaking of special teams, watching your kick cover units, especially your kickoff coverage unit, you got a lot of studs out there. So what's your thinking behind that? You got some of your best players coming.
Well, that's a critical play. I mean, it's your first play of defense, and you saw it today. They fair caught every ball, and I think that's a product of seeing us on film to this point. We've been excellent in kick cover. Blake's kicked the ball off pretty well. He hit the one out of bounds today, which we can't have. But that's such a tone setter, that team. And if a team essentially just shuts it down and fair catches it, we've obviously won.
Did Ben Seymour in for the first 2 plays of the first few drives with Amandre out, not coming until the third one? What was kind of the reasoning behind that? I'd
limit Amandre a little bit this week and kind of focus on third down with him. He was a little dinged up, nothing long term, but he didn't practice much this week, and you know, it was I think a good sound plan to utilize him in those third down situations, and you know, preserve him moving forward was the biggest thing behind that.
Certainly, you have the two big impact defensive plays today, but if you consider your first 3 games as a whole, what do you like about what your defense accomplished in the non-conference, and what do you hope continues when you start conference play next year?
Well, I think we understand the scheme. I think our guys are playing within it, and what I mean by that is, you know, I've mentioned everybody's got a job, and they trust it, and they trust each other, and we're doing it 100 miles an hour. So I think our coaches are really preparing them each week, and then we're really putting pressure on the quarterback. You know, I think that's been certainly the constant on third down. We're getting after all these quarterbacks, and you know, if we can keep doing that, that makes it really hard on offense. You know, getting behind the chains and then knowing that come third down, we're going to come after you. So pleased with the defense at this point for sure, and getting a couple takeaways. We hadn't been more than one, I think, in these first 2. So to get a few was awesome, and then obviously to put 14 points up on the board, that's something that doesn't happen every week.
How have you felt about your team's penalties or lack thereof so far?
Yeah, I think we're playing pretty disciplined. I think we've had some aggressive penalties through the first 3 games. I think we can live in that world a little bit, you know, because penalties are going to be part of it. But we're playing pretty disciplined football, and there's an unselfish nature that comes into play there. Technically, I think we're pretty sound. We just, you know, by and large, been pretty smart at it, you know, along with being disciplined.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Blackfoot Communications is committed to supporting Bozeman businesses. From intelligent network solutions like SD-WAN to fast and reliable fiber-based services, Blackfoot delivers innovative ways for your business to succeed. Blackfoot Communications. Connect to more.
I just matched through a good ball. I just caught it and just was thinking, just don't get catch. Just don't get catch, keep running. So
When you run into that end zone, you can see yourself on the Jumbotron. Did you look?
yeah, I was looking the whole time.
It's your first career MSU touchdown. How would you kind of describe that feeling?
It was amazing. I'm just thankful to be on this team, though. I mean, they push me every day, and it was just a great moment just to share that moment with them. So
Did your eyes get pretty wide when you saw the room in front of you on the route?
yeah, it did.
When this game starts to unfold in kind of the way that it does, how important is it that, you know, everybody on the sidelines keeps in mind of, you know, that mentality of having to be ready because you might end up with a moment like you had?
Yeah, it's very important just to stay ready. You know, Coach always talk about you never know when your opportunity is going to come. So when your opportunity comes, you know, just make the best of it. So we all got that mentality just to stay ready.
As a unit collectively, what would you say that the offense is doing particularly well through the 3 non-conference games?
I think we're throwing the ball really well, and we're running the ball well too. I mean, we could always be better, but you know, we're going to get there and just keep working every week just to get better in that point.
You figure that kind of versatility will bode well once you start conference play next week?
Huh?
Would you say that kind of versatility bodes well once you start conference play next week?
Most definitely, yeah.
How would you value Jahari Martin? It's probably good to see him get on the field. You probably like running behind him.
Oh, yeah, I love running behind him. He's going to bring it every time he steps on the field, and I just love bro. He's like a big brother to me, and, you know, he's just going to bring it every time he steps on the field. So,
What parts of the Isaiah's game do you kind of try to mimic the most?
I just sit there and I just try to watch everything he does, and I'm always asking him questions about this run, how do I run this, or how do I do that. He's just been a great mentor for me since I've been here, and just running hard. You know, he runs very hard, and I just want that part of the game.
Is that running hard? Is that his best skill, would you say, or is there something else that sticks out?
Yeah, I think running hard is pretty like his best skill. He just doesn't give up. You know, he just got a motor, a different kind of motor. So,
how have you felt about the offensive line so far?
They're great. I mean, they bring it every single time, and I love those guys up front. You know, we couldn't do nothing without them, and you know, they're just the best.
Heading to Portland next week. Return home for you. So what's that gonna be like for you?
Oh, it's gonna be amazing. All the family is gonna come out, and I just can't wait to play in front of them.
And give me your connection to Portland State too. I mean, with your brother playing there, and everything. I mean, that has to be sort of special for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a special moment for sure. And we're probably emotional a little bit, but I can't wait.
Now that you've had a few games after that long of wait, I mean, does it just feel like a normal season now, or are you still kind of processing all just how the last season last year?
Yeah, at first it was kind of weird just being out that long, but now it's kind of feeling normal again. So.
And was this game feel a little more normal, not being Gold Rush, not being the first game in a long time too?
Yeah, it's starting to feel normal.
All right, thanks, Elisha.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. How much did the blocks ahead of you, especially Jeffrey Manning's block, help you spring?
A big shout out to Jeff, my brother. Man, he's awesome. Love him for that. He's always been selling out, and I wish on his first pick I could have thrown a better block for him. He'd probably be in the end zone against Wyoming too. So, yeah, really appreciate it. Shout out to Jeff, Jazzy Jeff 5. He's the man for that. Really appreciate the D-line getting after the quarterback. Obviously, that makes our jobs in the back end a lot easier. So, shout out to everyone on the defense there. That was great.
Speaking of that, not just the D-line, but it seemed like they're bringing a lot of pressure all over the place. So how much has the defense diversified these first 3 games running this new scheme?
Absolutely, and we've been getting into a little bit more packages where we're pressuring the quarterback. So to your point, we've really been expanding on that, and we've reaped the benefits of it, I think, especially on third downs. So, yeah, that's been great.
First pick of your career, is that right?
Yes, the Drake one was a pick, though. Yes.
My next question was, how sweet did that feel after last week? Near pick or should have been pick.
Yeah, no, it felt really good. It was, again, appreciate the D-line getting after the quarterback. It takes a whole defense to make that stuff happen. Everyone doing their job. So, just shout out to them. I really appreciate that.
At what point did you realize you were going to make it into the end zone, and what were you thinking at that time?
I was thinking I wanted the Lambeau leap. But I knew that wouldn't have gone over too well, and I was really excited to celebrate with my teammates as well. So that was a ton of fun. I guess I probably realized it as I was crossing the line at that point, maybe the 2-yard line. But yeah.
You had the first interception return for a touchdown that Montana State has had in 4 years, and you held that superlative for about 10 minutes of game time before Troy Anderson took it back from you.
Yeah, I know.
What is it like to kind of share that moment with him? 2 big dynamic plays that close together.
Yeah, especially to share it with a player like Troy, incredible, great teammate, great player. So yeah, to share that with him is awesome, and it's a lot of fun. And I actually, after the game ended, I had mentioned that to him. I was like, man, I don't really remember the last time we got a pick 6, but I know it's been a while. And all of a sudden, we come out and get 2 of them in a game. So that was a blast, and to share that with him is incredible.
When you consider the fast start that the offense got off to, was it nice that the second quarter was kind of punctuated by those 2 big defensive plays and kind of defensive play for the entire game?
Absolutely. I love the energy that our offense came out with. They great play calling, great execution on the offensive players' perspective. I mean, it was just awesome to see them come out there with that kind of energy and execution and get the job done like that. It's a lot easier as a defense to play fast, play physical. That, if you're playing fast and you could make a mistake here or there, but knowing and having that confidence that your offense is going to go out there and make up for it is just a great feeling, and it allows the defense to play better.
And through the non-conference slate, what can you tell that this defensive unit has done well, and what maybe needs to carry over when you start conference play next week?
Absolutely. Still a lot of things we need to work on. But I love the discipline that we came into practice with this week, where we were really focused on, okay, what's our task at hand, how we're going to take care of business this week. We're laser focused, and on the field there's a lot of things that we can correct, but out of our defense, that's what I've loved, is our preparation, and then in turn our communication in game. There was a lot of times where, and it was funny because I was actually talking to the quarterback. I'm like, hey man, we're calling out half your plays. He goes, yeah, it kind of sucks out here. but when you prepare like that, it allows you to do, it allows you to communicate and, be one step ahead of the offense. So I think out of everything, that's what I've appreciated the most out of our defense, is just our preparation throughout the week.
How fun was it, gratifying to see Troy with the ball in the open field again?
I said, yeah, I told Troy, I said, my pick was different. I got the ball, and I did not know whether or not I was going to score. It took a few really good blocks to make that happen. As soon as Troy picked it, I kind of just was like jogging back to the sideline because I already knew, I'm like, it's Troy Anderson. He'll get it in the end zone. I didn't actually run to the sideline. I was looking to set a block, but I was already behind him, and there's no catching up to him. So
you mentioned you wanted the Lambeau leap, and you didn't. How much was Willie's flip kind of in your mind with that?
No, not at all. I was more so just thinking about how excited, because it's not, it wasn't me who just made that play happen. It was the entire defense. So I was excited to turn around and celebrate with those guys. And in turn, I was very happy of, how happy they were for me. And I appreciated that. So I was just really excited to celebrate with them.
Do you remember the last time you scored a touchdown?
Yeah, probably senior year against Champlin Park. We ended up losing that game. So
Probably
yeah, in the playoffs. Yeah, still hurts. Thanks for bringing it up. I'm kidding.
The last two performances, though, to go with that sort of momentum into conference play, how does the mindset change in conference play, and what do you think of the momentum you take as you guys go to Portland State next week?
Absolutely. I think, some of the momentum will carry over, but, like I said last week, we're just going to focus on being the best team on Saturday and coming out against a Portland State team that, we're going to have to bring a lot of our own energy into their place, and we can't overlook anyone. So, we're going to take our preparation from this week, transfer it over, focus on Portland State. But yeah, absolutely. It's nice to have these games to take over some momentum into conference play. The Big Sky is no joke. So I'm excited for it. I think everyone else is excited for it, and we're dialed.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Ty. And touchdowns into that student section about 100 times before, but how is this one different?
I don't know. This one was fun. I dropped a pick last week, so kind of wanted to make up for it. And, yeah, it's always fun running to the student section.
Seems like you're a lot more comfortable playing this spot now. So how do you think you've settled in?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit, of an adjustment the first couple of games. And, yeah, now playing with Cal and Ty, and they're balling out, and our whole D is really. I feel way more comfortable. It's a lot of fun.
First pick six of your MSU career, is that right?
Yep.
And I think you mentioned the one last week. That was probably going to be pick six, right, if you caught it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so sorry for bringing that up again. But this one, you left over one guy. Did it seem like it was pick six right away, or did you think you had to dodge a little bit?
I don't know. Kind of take it and run. Take the ball, don't get tackled. So. And
right off the heels of ties, too, did you kind of talk to them after that and give them some, just discuss those two pick sixes?
Yeah, Ty had one last week that we thought he caught too, so we kind of both made up for it. And the conversation was mostly just about how tired we were from running so far, so it was fun.
And how would you say you guys have played as a defense overall in these first three games?
I think we've played well. I think we've eliminated explosive plays for the most part, which is a big thing, kind of making them earn everything they get. We have a lot to build on and a lot to get better at, but I think it's a good start.
Seems like the front end, the way you guys bring pressure, has diversified as the season's gone along. So how much has that helped just the performance overall?
Oh, yeah. Our D-line's a bunch of studs out there. If you ever my favorite thing ever is at practice just to watch Chase Benson or watch film. He's an animal up front. No one can really handle him one-on-one, let alone when they double him. So, get him going, and Mondre and Hardy and all those guys up front, they really make our job easier and make the defense as a whole kind of click.
Ty said that on that interception when he saw Jeffrey block, all he was thinking about was doing the Lambo leap. And so what was going through your head when you saw that wide open gap on your interception and you just knew that you were going to take it all the way?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just, you kind of hope you catch it, but then black out mostly. Run to the end zone and celebrate with your teammates. So it was fun.
What is this coaching staff compared to the previous ones harped on the most? What have you kind of noticed most about them that they're their priorities, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of discipline, doing your job, trusting your teammates, the typical coach stuff. But yeah, I think they're really detailed, and I think it showed in our first few games, and hopefully we can keep it going.
And how have you felt in your first 3 games back from the surgery and all that? How's your body feel? How's your mind feel?
I feel good. Obviously sore, but it's a welcome soreness that you haven't had in a while. We haven't played football for a while, so yeah, it's kind of a welcome change to wake up on Sunday morning a little bit beat up.
You mentioned Daniel Hardy. He's proving the notion that he can play with his hand in the dirt. So how did you evaluate him so far?
Yeah, a couple times it's just like, hey, you want to race to the quarterback, and he's pretty darn good. He's pretty fast at it. So he's playing great. I don't even know how many sacks he has in the last 2 games, but yeah, it makes our job easier. We don't have to play coverage for very long when we can go get pressure with 4. We don't even have to blitz very often.
As a former mobile quarterback yourself, how would you evaluate Matt's performance so far?
Geez, I think Matt's awesome. It kind of adds a little bit, dual dimension to our game. He's able to throw, he's able to run. I kind of joke with him. I was like, Tommy gets loose today, and Casey did too, and Tucker. I was like, maybe he might be our least athletic quarterback. But no, but he's awesome. He's a stud, and he's playing well, and yeah, we're lucky to have him.
How's the mindset change as you enter Big Sky Conference play now?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely changes. This is where it really matters. Since I've been here, haven't won a Big Sky Conference title, and that means a lot to us. And obviously, it's something that we're going to have to go take week by week. And yeah, so we're excited to head out to Portland next week and get it going.
Speaking of that, the last time you guys went to Portland, that was when you, I think, set the quarterback rushing record. So how much have things changed since then? 'Cause it's been years since you guys went to Portland State.
Yeah, no, it is. I don't know. Hopefully the atmosphere is good. I know last time it seemed like we had more fans than they did. So yeah, I mean, it'll be fun, I guess, to get going.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Troy.
Yep.
Blackfoot Communications is committed to supporting Bozeman businesses. From intelligent network solutions like SD-WAN to fast and reliable fiber-based services, Blackfoot delivers innovative ways for your business to succeed. Blackfoot Communications. Connect to more.